Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Umber Rays. I am actually in a little bit of pain today, not feeling super great, so this video is probably not going to be as ranty as it should be, but today we're here to talk about the JP side and some pretty serious allegations. And before I get into it, I gotta say, a lot of the times choosing the music for my videos is pretty difficult. Sometimes I don't know if I want, this beloved song or this beloved song. But when talking about a little bit of bullshit from a company, it's pretty easy to pick the Shinra theme and just go with it, because they're one of the most corrupt things in Final Fantasy. And that may be what we have in Wotv. And so this is pretty serious, so I think you guys should take this serious. And while it has not been 100% confirmed, and Gumi as a company has yet to officially respond with exactly telling all the players what's going on, I'm going to try and be fair to both sides, but let me tell you, I am not on their side in this one. I am on the consumer side 100,000%. And I don't think that there's any middle ground here for being on the company side. They're a big company. They don't need you protecting them. They can do it themselves. They have their lawyers, and they might need it on this one. All right. So basically, let's get into what happened. So currently on the JP side is the 1-year anniversary. And what happened was they made, the game came out with a whole bunch of special anniversary banners, and a lot of them were paid lapis, some of them were free lapis. I even made a video about it, and you could pull on some of them, all of them. Some gave shards, some gave characters, but as of last night, all of these, or should I say quite a few of these banners, as you can see, were taken down. And it's kind of interesting because, well, why were they taken down? Like, what was it that actually happened? And, well, today we got a little bit more clarification, but as you can see, a lot of the banners are just gone now. All of those anniversary banners are just kind of gone, and only the regular banners are still up. So let's get actually what was happening, because users on the JP side were starting to notice a little bit of patterns. Not just some patterns, almost identical, or if not actually completely identical patterns were starting to be formed in terms of what was going on with the polls. As you could see, here is an example of a user that ended up getting these polls, but if you were to compare it to this user, they're the exact same. And for people who are like, well, Umbra, there's so many gotchas, it's RNG, this could just be totally random. It's not. It happened actually for multiple users in multiple different polls, and it didn't take long for the community to actually gather together a table of groups of summons. It wasn't even maybe there's some weird stuff going on. No, there was actually summon groups, and basically certain users were put into certain groups, meaning that your polls were predetermined by your essential user ID. There was nothing RNG about it, other than just the fact of, I guess, what group you ended up getting put into, but that's about it. Now, personally, this is unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. It's going to be quite a coincidence if this just happened, because you know what? Gumi has not had the best track record of being on the level with his players, about not doing shady stuff in the past. And this kind of brings into question a lot of stuff, as a matter of fact. Any special banner, any regular banner too, because quite frankly, at this rate, how has this been going on much longer than just for the anniversary? Has this actually been happening? You hear the horror stories about people on accounts who just pull like 120, 130,000 lapis on a banner trying to get a character and never get that character. Is it because they were put into groups where they were never going to get that character? Or that it was just so unlikely that it was just never going to happen? The stories over the last year of gotcha pulls where people have spent way too much and end up getting nothing does definitely has always been a question for me, because other than just being really bad luck, it does, sometimes naturally feel like the system is essentially rigged against you. And then, boom, this pops up, and at one of the worst times ever. I haven't done a video about it yet, about EX jobs, but suffice to say, the video is on its way, and I'll give you the long and short of it. I hate it. I hate EX jobs. They are bullshit incarnate. 400 extra character shards that you cannot farm earlier than this system being implemented. They didn't backdate it for the players. They didn't do anything for the players. Just, hey, guess what? It's anniversary. Here's a new power level for characters that will eventually come to other characters too. Fork over more of your fucking hard-earned money. And really, at this point, it's kind of hard to be angry. Angrier than I am, because I'm actually just not feeling good. So I want to be even angrier than this. I mean, I just am having this problem currently with Hearthstone, where Hearthstone introduced a new battle pass, or tavern pass, or whatever the fuck it's called, and it's just unbelievable bullshit there too, where they've essentially made it worse for pretty much all of the players in that game. And you know what? It's just so frustrating for this game to come up with its own level of controversy, because this is more than has to be just a computer error. I hate to put on the tinfoil hat, but this feels so fucking deliberate, and I would be willing to give this company the benefit of the doubt if they hadn't done shady shit in the past with Brave Exvius, with other of their games. So you know what? I just don't trust them, and I'm not going to trust anything. As a matter of fact, this is the big final straw for me in terms of spending money on Wotv. I'm done. I can't. This is the breaking of the camel's back. And you know what? In all honesty, given that this was a thing, all Lapis needs to be refunded. Like all Vizier Lapis. I know I call it Lapis because I come from Brave Exvius, but all of it needs to be refunded to the players, because this is not okay. This is never going to be okay. It's either complete negligence on the part of the developers and executives for not checking that this wasn't a possibility, or this is actually maliciously planned, and you can't trust the gatcha in this game anymore. Bahamut has half rates. To show just to get this out of here for a second. You see this Bahamut step up? What's the odds to say that a player just can't get it? That it's completely fixed against them to a potential rate? Like, guess what? Your account number is XYZ ending in 123. So therefore, you need to spend 90,000 before you get put into the group where you actually get Bahamut. That's just the way it is. Remember how I've always said that it felt like a lot of the times characters are either destined to your account or not? Like you just end up getting Yuna, or you end up getting Sakura or Kane or Cecil or any of these goddamn characters. This really doesn't help. This really doesn't help. And you know what? I try and be fair. I try and say, you know what? The devs are hardworking. COVID is a thing. Obviously, I want improvements in the game. I think there are problems with the game, and I try and give constructive criticism. There is no constructive criticism for this. This needs to be better. This is something that you are asking people to spend their hard-earned money on, and you are finally have been caught doing this. Now, I'm sure that they will never admit that this was intentional. They can't. They can't. Because if they admit this is intentional, this whole game is going to be dragged through the courts. It's going to destroy like every mobile game under this company, because how could you trust it if they were doing this here? They're probably doing it somewhere else too. And again, this is pretty backbreaking, because regardless of the fact that I think Yuna's really cool, that Titus is really cool, that Kane is really cool, I just can't tell people anymore that it's a good idea to spend money on this game. I'm sorry. It seems like you are being scammed. The evidence is here that users have put together on the JP side. And hey, maybe Global is being treated better, but for how long? You know, I really hate this because it could not have come at a worse time. It's your 1 year anniversary, the game has been live for 1 year, and now you find this out. I do think that this is the completely back-breaking moment for me in terms of spending money. And all of you as the users, you can decide. You can decide whether you just feel okay being known that you're being put into a group. And you know what? They've been caught on this. So if they were doing it intentionally, they're going to stop for a while and then they're going to try it again because that's exactly what they do. That is always what they will do. These people are not your friends. They are not your allies. They don't care really if you have that much of a good time so long as you keep spending money. And that's where we just need to tell this company to go fuck itself. Either have better due diligence to make sure that this doesn't happen with banners. They can do this. They can test it. They can test it in mass because you know what? They can make accounts with infinity lapis and just try and pull on a banner 100 million times and see the data. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit of extra time, but the money's got to be going somewhere that we're spending. It can't just be on this because, it is so frustrating and it is so shit. And I have no, positive things to say about the game in this video. I just don't. This is bad. This should not have happened if it wasn't intentional. And if it did, and if it was intentional, holy shitballs, because honestly, I will never spend another dime. I will never play another Gumi game. I will even stay away from anything with Square Enix on it that has gatcha in it. And I think all of you should too. Fixing gatcha rates, putting people in groups, this is absolute trash. So globalers, JP players, I have to tell you, I feel absolutely sorry for all of you. And I'm just going to say this now. Going forward, now that they've been caught with this kind of shit, you guys should definitely think about, whether you want to spend anything at all anymore. And I do mean ever again. So yeah, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And I'll still be playing Wotv because I have to guess that me going to just free to play and them making no more money off of me is really going to piss them off. But until once we see the response, we'll see how good of a response it actually is. But I think that they've royally screwed up on this one, and they better extremely be incredibly generous and careful with how. Because if it's anything less than 100% back plus interest, I don't think it's an acceptable thing at all. Anyway, let me know what you think about this situation in the comments. Do you think I'm being completely unfair? Do you think I'm not unfair enough? Either way, until I just have no more words. I have nothing. Anyway, take care. See you next time. Talk to you later.